Hello guys, Ww2 to collect the 1939 to 1945 here, and here I have a video for you on my brand new Mk5 sten. I got it this morning. This is the second video on it. The first video was the unboxing video. Yeah, this is the more detailed, in-depth video on my Mk5 sten. So, right, I got this from D&B Militaria for £300, which is quite cheap considering it's a mid-spec. It's quite a good deal. I think they've still got a few left, so if any of you want to go check it out, then yeah, they've got a Facebook page and a website. So yeah, first of all I'll state that this gun is deactivated. I have the Birmingham Proof and House certificate. Right, first a little bit of history on the sten, which I've picked up from other YouTubers and stuff. This was a 9mm 30 round submachine gun used by the British Army all throughout World War II, or the sten gun. This was our main submachine gun, not this exact model, but the sten gun in general. And the sten gun was invented after Dunkirk because we'd lost most of our weapons on the beach and most of our equipment, and we needed a we were getting Thompsons from the Americans with the Lend-Lease program, but they were running low and all the factories were overloaded, and when they joined the war in 1941, they needed Thompsons for themselves, so they couldn't supply them to us anymore, of which we invented the Sten Mark 1 submachine gun, which didn't run for very long. That was quickly replaced by the Mark 2, which was basically exactly the same as this, but it didn't have this, and it didn't have that. It had a long T buttstock, and the trigger was back there. Didn't have that, and it had just a normal barrel sight. This is the sight end and bayonet lug end of a number 4 Mark 1 the Enfield. So that's sort of a brief history of the sten. The Sten Mark 5 was introduced because the Sten Mark 2 was such a basic, cheap submachine gun that none of the troops really liked it. So they introduced the Sten Mark 5, which looks a lot better. It's got a few extra features that made it more popular, aka like this front grip, the like more common bayonet, because the Sten Mark 2 did have a bayonet, but you never see them around, so they obviously didn't have that many of them. But yeah, also this one has a butt trap, so you can keep the oil bottle and pull through in there, which I don't have for this yet. I've got some for the Enfield, but not for this. Okay. Most of these Sten Mark 5s were sold to Rhodesia after in the 50s late 50s, early 60s, when the Sterling submachine gun was invented, which sort of replaced the sten. And so most of the ones that are on the market came from there. Right, I'll go into my gun now then. It's quite a good condition gun. The only thing about it is that original front grips are quite rare, so this is a reproduction and it doesn't fit in with the rest of the woodwork. I will do what I can to make them match, maybe refinish the stock, or like oil that up a bit more and just, yeah, make it a bit darker. So with it being mid-spec, basically the bolt is welded in and cut in half, and they took the cocking piece off and put it in a small piece of pipe so that it can still give the appearance to cock. It doesn't drive fire because the C is all welded up, but the trigger still moves. Most of the stuff's removable. Basically this morning when I got it, I stripped everything off, cleaning off all the old grease and everything. Check the sights off, check the heat shield off, magazine, all the springs, check the cover off there, the butt, stripped down the whole thing. So yeah, it's all cleaned up, oiled, everything's working properly. It's a really nice gun. So I will show you a bit more. Sten mk5. You may be able to see it. Yeah, it's got the serial number underneath with the factory number, the factory logo, which is an S with a V in it. I don't know which factory that is, so if anyone knows what that factory is, please tell me, because I would love to know more history about this exact gun. Yeah, it's got removable magazine. I've got some 9mm blanks in there, fired obviously. 30 round magazine. Got the bayonet. So that's the number 4 pig sticker bayonet. It's done with 4 sights. And this one, dust cover works. It's quite difficult to do with one hand, but I've got it all up nicely, so yeah. Right, I will put this in. It's a very strong spring to do with one hand, but yeah. See, there's no bolt on the end of that. It's just a very hollow, very thin, hollow piece of pipe. They've just put in there so you can move it. It's quite a good idea. But yeah, for some reason my dust cover doesn't open all the way. It leaves a bit of a gap, but it's not a big problem. You don't use it much like that anyway. Right, I'll strip it down a bit. Hang on a sec. Lovely sound when it dry fires. The buttstock on this is really, well, it's a bit of a pain really. Hang on a second. There we go. Buttstock off. Brass butt plate. Got a place for sling. Sling's arriving in a few days. Right. So basically, it could be fired like that. Like, because it's the same as the commando grips for the Sten Mk2. So it would have been fired like that for some people. I'll strip it down a bit more for you guys. So basically what you do to strip these down is you obviously take the butt off by pressing in that button and sliding it down. And then what you do is you press in like that and turn it clockwise. Well, anti-clockwise, sorry. There. This locking nut will come out, as well as the spring. That is a separate piece of the spring, but mine always jams in there. It's a pain, but right. You take the bolt out when it gets to the safety bit. There's the bolt, well, cocking piece, and this is the bolt, or the fake bolt, as it were. But yeah, and that is basically as far as you can strip it down, as far as you ever need to strip it down. You can take off this cover and take out that pin, but this trigger mechanism doesn't come out because other stuff's welded in the way, so it doesn't move. This is the select fire button, but it's welded solid. It's welded on semi-auto. I think. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. Yeah. I'll quickly put that together then. Yeah, so put that in there. It catches on the trip a little bit for some reason. So the trip sticks up a bit and it catches, so it jams where it is occasionally, which is a pain, but it don't really matter. You don't need to cock it much anyway. It's not like it's a real gun, so. They also developed on the Sten gun, because they went off so often. Hang on a sec. Yeah. The end of the cocking piece will come up the side. So basically, before, these had a tendency of going off. If you bump them on the ground, this could fly back and fire, and yeah, it could just empty out the entire gun basically and kill you. There's been accounts of about 2 or 3 people actually killing themselves with their stens by bumping them on the ground, jumping out of trucks or in parade, or well, there was one guy that was like always threw it in his trench in ahead of him, and he threw it in, jumped in after it, and it went off and killed him. Also, the troops used to use stens as grenades. So basically, just chuck the sten in the building, and it would go off, clear the room faster than any grenade. But yeah, yeah, like I said, 9mm 30 round submachine gun with quite a high rate fire. We had quite basic peep sight and sight blade. This is a better sight than the Mark IIs because they only had like a little triangle sight there. A couple of mags are made, just a little pouch filler, 2 wooden ones. But yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, rate and subscribe, and shout out to CJ Campbell. Please everyone subscribe to him. Great guy, great channel. Also Ww2 UK, Jack Pittman, Cosmo Ww1 reenactor, and Tommy Over Thompson. Right, thanks for watching guys, and goodbye.